Hello everybody, welcome back to C&S Corvettes. It's your Corvette buddy Lyle, here to talk to you about some more interesting Corvette parts, concepts, ideas, and news. Before we get started today, I just wanted to mention to everybody that if you haven't already signed up for our subscription to the YouTube channel, liked our videos, all of that, please go ahead and do it. I know I sound like a broken record, but the algorithm is such that it really is required for us to grow our channel. It takes you 10 seconds and it really helps me. I appreciate that. Secondly, if you haven't yet gotten your C&S Corvettes t-shirt that comes with a really nifty, beautiful window sticker, I do still have a few in stock. Last week, I'll tell you what guys, thank you so much for the amount of support you showed by buying all the t-shirts you did. I had a full day Monday and Tuesday making up all the boxes, all the bags and everything to get them out, and it really warmed my heart. So thank you very much for that. If you haven't already got a shirt and want one, check the link below the website. Today's video, we're going to talk about a concept that I find very, very interesting. My son is an endurance racing driver. He's 20 years old and he has raced at Daytona, Sebring, Road Atlanta, a bunch of other tracks, doing long races, 10, 12, 14, 24 hours. And I have learned a lot about cars that I didn't know just from watching him and his team go out there and compete. And moreover, what it takes to last in a race that long. One of the terms that he introduced me to is called mechanical sympathy. And that is the concept we're going to be talking about today that can help you become a better driver and teach you how to become better, faster, and smoother while still doing more for your machine than you ever have before. First of all, let's define what mechanical sympathy is. It was a term invented by three-time F1 champion Jackie Stewart, and in its simplest form, it is using a tool or system with an understanding of how that system operates best. Good example of that. Here in my hands, eventually here, coming, good. I have a bolt and a nut. Now, this is a very simple system, and as long as you thread it on correctly, it slides on nice and smooth, tightens down, does everything it's supposed to do, and it secures whatever you're trying to secure, right? Now, you could, in theory, grab a big half-inch impact gun, put that nut on like this, and grind it, cross-thread it all the way on, and it will still probably hold if you don't break the bolt, but the amount of effort and the amount of damage that went into performing the same function as if you'd done it smoothly with an understanding of the system is much greater. Let's apply that idea to driving. When you're driving, you want to drive in a way so that the moving parts of the vehicle are subjected to the minimum wear possible per mile traveled. Things like no harsh braking, no clutch riding. Don't bog the engine. Make sure when you are leaving a light or going up a hill or whatever that you are in the correct RPM range, that you're not taxing the engine. Don't over rev the engine for the same exact reasons. Corner smoothly and let the car breathe from time to time. I have seen other race car drivers in some of my son's competitions who are very fast, but they are just consistently hammering that car, hammering. And if you watch in-car video of them, their hands are all over the wheel and they're moving it. It's very chaotic. Now they're fast, but they're not showing the car any mechanical sympathy. Therefore, getting to the end of an endurance race can be a challenge for drivers who are like that. I think the best example of true genius with mechanical sympathy was a former F1 champion named Jim Clark. Now he was active in 63 to 68. And he was widely regarded worldwide as the most mechanically sympathetic and natural driver that anyone has ever seen. He was famous for being extremely fast and extremely smooth in virtually any car that he was given, and he just drove it with the setup that it was given to him. Many drivers come back into the pits and they say, okay, we need to change this. Jim just took what he had and was fast and smooth. He was not only an F1 champion, he also won the Indianapolis 500. He raced in NASCAR, he raced at Le Mans. He was fast and smooth in any machine they put him in, and he was always competitive. And he was a very soft-spoken Scotsman, and just went out there and just did amazing things. A quote from Jackie Stewart, again: "He was so smooth, he was so clean, he drove with such finesse. He never bullied a racing car. He sort of caressed it into doing the things that he wanted it to do." Now, Jim raced for Team Lotus for the majority of his racing career. In fact, almost everything he raced in was a Lotus of one kind or another. They did an interview with his crew chief, Billy Cow, and Billy talked about how they were taking care of 3 cars in the F1 races. And no matter what happened in that race, if you lined up the cars in front of him and he didn't know whose car was whose, he could go look at the gearbox and tell you which one was Jim Clark's, because Jim's gearbox looked like it was brand new, like it was freshly rebuilt. It showed no damage, yet Jim won the race by 2-3 laps better than everybody else. He was also famous for making his tires last 4 times as long as the other competitors in the field, and he got 3 times as much time out of his brakes. Now, that doesn't mean he wasn't fast. He was just gentle with the machine because he clearly understood how it was supposed to work, what its limitations were, and he changed himself to work within those limitations as best as possible. His movements were consistent and fluid. His hands rarely moved positions on the steering wheel. And it was just such a master class in how to get the most out of any vehicle while treating that vehicle with sympathy to make it last, which, let's face it, as all of us being Corvette owners, we really want our cars to last. So this is a skill that you can build yourself. You don't have to be an engineer, you don't have to be a mechanic, but at least understand how things function in your car so that you can use them in their optimum range of operation. Sadly, Jim Clark died in a crash in 1968 on a rainy day at Hockenheim racetrack in Europe. Widely, it was attributed to tire deflation on a rear tire that he had nothing to do with. It was just a failure, and sadly, we lost him that day. Lord knows what he could have been, even more, had he been around to teach a whole generation of younger drivers his secrets. That's it for today, guys. If you have any questions or comments on mechanical sympathy, please put them down below. I'd be happy to read them. I look forward to talking to you again next week. Take care.